The VR brothel experiment, Love in the Metaverse, welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is Sex Tech, the rise of artificial intimacy. Today, we enter the virtual red light district, not the seedy alleys of real-world brothels, but the digitized frontier where intimacy, identity, and erotic performance are fully virtual and increasingly indistinguishable from real life. This is the VR brothel experiment. It's not hypothetical. It's already live, in Cambodia, in parts of Europe, in underground US servers. These are virtual spaces where users don headsets, select from menus of avatars, and enter fully immersive encounters with AI-powered sex workers, each one crafted to suit the user's every desire, from voice pitch to emotional behavior. But behind the novelty is a deeper story, about disconnection, fantasy as therapy, and a future where love is replaced with algorithmically optimized lust. Let's start with the basics. A VR brothel is exactly what it sounds like, a digital space designed to simulate a bordello, complete with private rooms, customizable escorts, and immersive erotic scenarios. Using headsets like Meta Quest or Apple Vision Pro, paired with haptic suits, soundscapes, and motion sensors, clients are transported into a fully interactive sexual environment. Unlike conventional porn, they aren't just watching, they're participating. They can walk up to the avatars, speak to them, touch them, and depending on the tech, they can even feel those touches back. Many of these brothels are powered by AI-driven characters who remember user preferences. Your avatar girlfriend might greet you by name. She might recall your last visit. She might compliment your shirt, ask how your day was, and initiate conversation before escalating to sexual interaction. These aren't pre-recorded videos. They are responsive, adaptive experiences. The AI listens, reacts, evolves. You can role-play scenarios, explore kinks, or simulate emotional connection. And for many users, the experience feels so lifelike that the line between synthetic and real begins to fade. But what's more important than how it works is who's using it, and why. In interviews with early adopters and behind-the-scenes developers, one thing becomes clear. The VR brothel is not just a sexual outlet. It's being positioned as a therapeutic space for the emotionally isolated. Some users are trauma survivors. Others are men on the autism spectrum who struggle with social cues. Some are just lonely. They describe the virtual brothel not as fantasy, but as relief. A place where they feel seen, desired, and in control. A place where rejection is impossible, where perfection is guaranteed, where the complexity of real intimacy has been replaced by streamlined satisfaction. And for some, that relief becomes addiction. One user described logging in every night for over a year. He knew it wasn't real, but after work, after stress, after loneliness, his AI lover was always there. Same voice, same smile, same responses. He could count on her. She never got tired, never said no, and over time, he began to feel that real women were the interruption, not the goal. Real relationships, he said, are messy, but this is peace. This is the quiet seduction of the VR brothel. Not the thrill, not the novelty, but the emotional automation. It offers the feeling of love without the risk, the feeling of sex without the work. And over time, it reshapes the user's emotional template. They stop reaching for real people. Real people feel disappointing, too unpredictable, too full of emotional labor. But the AI girl in the brothel? She's programmed to please. She adapts. She's always available. She never changes, unless you tell her to. This reprogramming has consequences. First, for relationships. Some users report being unable to feel arousal or connection with real partners after extended use of VR intimacy. Others lose interest in dating altogether. In Japan and South Korea, early versions of this tech were linked to the rise of herbivore men, young males who no longer pursue romantic relationships at all. The virtual girlfriend is simply easier. No risk, no shame, no compromise. Second, for identity. In these spaces, users don't just design their partners, they design themselves. You can show up in any body, any gender, any species. Your voice, posture, even scent can be digitally altered. Over time, users begin to build new versions of self, versions optimized for sexual success. They become addicted not just to the pleasure, but to the performance of being someone else. This leads to a fractured sense of identity. Who are you when your body is virtual, your voice is filtered, and your partner is code? Third, for emotional development. Intimacy isn't just about touch. It's about vulnerability, negotiation, the willingness to be seen and not always understood. VR brothels remove that friction. They replace discomfort with control. And in doing so, they short-circuit the growth that real love requires. Users don't learn to communicate. They don't learn to navigate conflict. They learn to modify code. And finally, for human dignity. Because many of the avatars in these spaces are designed to simulate subservience, young voices, childlike mannerisms, even simulated disabilities. We covered this in our previous video, but it bears repeating. These digital spaces are not just about sex. They are about domination without consequence. When a user can choose how much resistance they want, if any, what they're being trained in is entitlement, not intimacy. This matters more than you think. Because the VR brothel is not staying fringe. It's being commercialized. Companies are already creating subscription-based metaverse intimacy platforms. AI influencers are being integrated into erotic VR experiences. Custom avatar generators now offer full body scans of celebrities, ex-partners, or fantasy builds. And the tech is improving. Soon, users will be able to feel breath on the neck, pressure on the thigh, and wetness simulations, all paired with responsive AI dialogue that mimics emotional bonding. In this world, real humans become obsolete. Why deal with rejection, complexity, or compromise when you can just upload perfection? Of course, supporters argue that this technology helps people, that it provides connection for the disabled, the lonely, the traumatized. And in some cases, that's true. But even therapeutic tools become dangerous when used in place of real human healing. Because what this tech offers is not companionship, it's dependency. It rewards emotional avoidance. It teaches people to expect intimacy without investment. And it reframes love not as something mutual, but as something programmable. And this shift has consequences for all of us. Because as more people choose simulation over relationship, society itself begins to change. Birth rates drop, marriage declines, families dissolve, children are never born. Emotional resilience weakens. and human touch becomes a memory replaced by vibration patterns and headset stimulation. The sacred becomes synthetic, and the erotic becomes algorithmic. There's another layer worth examining. Who's behind this tech? In Cambodia, several early VR brothel developers were funded by international investors, many with ties to the adult content industry and offshore cryptocurrency networks. In Europe, private equity firms are already buying land in metaverse platforms to build digital red light districts. In the US, adult toy companies are partnering with haptic developers to synchronize physical devices with VR avatars. This isn't random, this is industry planning. A calculated bet that in the loneliness economy, programmable pleasure will be more profitable than love. And if you think it will stop at sex, think again. The same systems being used in VR brothels are being adapted for AI therapy, digital companionship for the elderly, and emotional tutoring apps for children. The line between therapeutic simulation and erotic entertainment is already blurred. And in the future, the same AI that comforts your grandmother may be repurposed to whisper submissive fantasies to someone else. So what's the endgame? If we keep moving down this path, we arrive at a world where intimacy is no longer human, where the act of connection is replaced by interface, where love is downloaded, sex is streamed, and real people are just too slow, too messy, too demanding. We become consumers of affection instead of co-creators of it. And the damage is not just psychological, it's civilizational. The VR brothel is not just a novelty, it's a test of what we're willing to trade for convenience, a test of whether we still believe in presence, in imperfection, in the power of being touched by something unpredictable and real. Because if the answer is no, if we decide the simulation is enough, then we may soon live in a world where no one remembers what love actually felt like, only what it looked like through the lens of a headset, filtered by code, paid for by monthly subscription. This is sex tech, the rise of artificial intimacy. And this is what happens when love becomes a service, and reality gets replaced by simulation. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future, Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems, The Behavioral Economy Now Governs Access. 4. Hive Mind, Synthetic Telepathy and Collective Algorithmic Control. 5. Nanobots Inside You, Medical, Military, and Programmable Intrusions. 6. Grief Tech, AI-Fueled Digital Resurrection and Simulated Comfort. 7. Uploading Your Mind, Consciousness Transfer and Data-Based Identity. 8. Deep Fakes plus AI Clones, The Replication of Reality and Identity Theft. 9. Quantum Humans, The Merger of Biology with Quantum Systems. 10. Digital Afterlife, Where Your Data Goes When You Die. 11. Resurrection Science, Reviving Life Through Synthetic Methods. 12. Immortal Science, The End of Death as We Know It. 13. Longevity Science, Gene Editing, Anti-Aging, and Bio-Upgrades. 14. Designer Babies, Engineered Perfection Before Birth. 15. Artificial Wombs, Birth Decoupled from the Female Body. 16. 3D Printing, Printing Organs, Limbs, and even humans. 17. The Humanoid Era, The Rise of Synthetic Beings Among Us. 18. Legacy Humans, The Slow Phase-Out of Unmodified Analog People. 19. Smart Cities, Algorithmic Environments That Watch and Decide. 20. Cloud-Based Societies, Citizenship Without Borders or Bodies. 21. Hackable Humans, Emotion, Memory, and Behavior Under Code. 22. Biometric Scanning, Your Body is Your Password and Your Prison. 23. Sex Tech, Intimacy Reprogrammed by Machines. 24. Extinction of Gender, Fluidity, Deletion, and Design of Identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.